And tell me about that. Like, who are some of the top, 3 thought leaders in sales and marketing, that you see as that type of inspiration to you, right? That make you want to be better and do better.
So, I asked this question someone asked me this question on Hey Keenan once, and I kind of answered. I'm going to answer it similarly again. To me, inspiration comes from watching someone's behaviors and watching what somebody does that provides value to me. And I'm like, wow, I wish I had done that, or I wish I had thought about this, or I like the way this person operates, right? Mm-hmm. And Simon said that about Seth. So for me, there's a lot of people, it's not a single person, but I'll give you an example because this is a really important one. And I don't need to do any ass kissing right now. But somebody that's inspirational to me is you. But here's why, right? It's easy for me when I am inspired by Seth. I love Seth. Whenever I can't come up with a blog post, I don't think I've ever told anybody this. If I'm struggling with a blog post idea, I go read Seth's blog. There's something about the way he thinks that triggers my synapses, script better blogs. So it's easy to be a fanboy, or easy to have him be an inspiration to me. Yeah. But I'm more inspired by people like you, Jack, and here's why. What you have done from basically, all due respect, obscurity to where you are now, that's inspirational. Your ability to embrace things, to take the risk, to put yourself out there, to challenge people, to look at things differently. To me, that's more inspirational, right? You're just scratching the surface, and I believe you're going to be big someday.
Well, I didn't expect that answer, yes, so this was not pre-designed.
That's true inspiration, right? It's easy for someone to say Martin Luther King, Steve Jobs, because it's a prepackaged inspiration. It's so much to grab onto. But when you find people like yourself, like the guy who works for me, Max, he inspires me all the day. The kid never knew a damn thing about sales, and he's busting his ass, and he's gotten better and better and better and better every day. And I'm like, okay, I can learn from this guy, right? So to me, inspiration is not about the thought leader, what they've done. It's how they do it every day, and a lot of times it's a lot closer to home than we think.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I guess I'm gonna have to take him out to dinner tonight or something. But I didn't even know I did this stuff, right? I think that's what I look at. These true leadership is people that don't really have a motive other than they doing what they believe in, right?
Well, Simon said value, right? Yeah. They have a vision, and they operate from a value-based perspective, and they're trying to, right? They're playing the infinite game. So yes.
And sales, that's what salespeople have to do is it all starts with your motive, right?
Yes.
And I think you could say that that's your why motive.
Yep.
Your why.
Yep.
And I know that I did this at Acton, and I've done this in my whole sales career. Is I've always walked away listening to the standard KPIs and going, I didn't feel good about the way that I sold today. And if you're in that spot in sales today, especially as sales rep, you have 2 options, right? You can either change that on your own, or, if they're not acceptable to that, then you need to go find a place that will accept the way you want to sell and make you feel good about leaving. Because it's not about what your boss wants. It's not about what you want. In sales, it's all about what your buyer wants.
Yes.
And if you feel that you're doing things that your buyer doesn't, and you're selling your buyer the way they don't want you to sell to them, then you've got to fix it, right?
Yes, it's not good.
In the most simple form, I think that a lot of sales reps could take a lot from just that, thinking and analyzing, do I feel good about how I sell?
Well, there's a really simple measurement for that, okay? And I dropped this 2 weeks ago at Flip My Funnel conference. The objective of a salesperson is not to sell. The objective of a salesperson is not to help. We talk about that a lot. But really, the objective of a salesperson is to get their prospect or buyer to let them help you. Let you help them, right? So if you can get your buyer or prospect to let you help them, now you're on the right track, because that takes trust, that takes vulnerability, that takes a willingness to open up, right?
Absolutely.
And so if you can get them to say, yeah, I'll let you help me, done.
And how do you, I guess I can answer this question and I'll pass it to you, but how do you get your buyer to want you to help them, right? And I've been preaching about this with social selling, right? I know that people talk about it as a fluffy term. Social selling in its simplest form is the proactive versus reactive way to give tons of value to a mass targeted audience of buyers before they know they're ready to buy, or they know they're ready to buy from you.
Yep.
And there's an art to that, right? And we're not going to go into that on here, but what are your thoughts of that? How do you get somebody to come, and I'm not talking about strictly an inbound funnel, right? Because I don't believe that any sales reps can live and die just on inbound alone, right? But how do they build that attractiveness, whether it's them going to the buyer or the buyer, them trying to get the buyer to come to them?
Yeah, so look, I'm not even going to touch on all the different tools or methodologies or whatever, right? It's really simple. It's a two-pronged approach. One starts with your ability to have enough empathy and enough understanding of your prospects or clients' world. You are emotionally attached to their world, which then in turn allows you to understand how to make them successful. And when you can do those two things, regardless of whatever medium it is, then the prospect or buyer by default will start to believe you can help them.
Yes.
So in order to get them to say, I want you to help me, it starts with, do I believe you can? And that is the journey salespeople need to be on.
Well, so we're gonna end this. That's a wrap with my boy. Hey Keenan, add him at Keenan Twitter handle. I'm telling you, he's nuts.
Yes,
but
nuts,
he's
crazy.
good nuts. Value nuts if there's something like that.
I'm with that.
So I will tell you that you should catch us Monday because we will be.
Yes.
We will be. I will be spending some time with Keenan on his podcast. It'll be live, and hopefully we can maybe even dive into what we're talking about, but more on a process level, right? How do sales reps get valuable? How do they get visible? How do they get connected and drive the buyer to want to have that conversation with them, right?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you, Keenan.
My pleasure, brother.